Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful, oh, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and I won't let go. Something wonderful, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Oh, something wonderful, oh, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. I can feel it in my body, I can feel it in my soul, I can feel it in my heart, and I won't let go. Oh, something wonderful, oh, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful, ooh, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Don't you know I can feel it in my body? Oh, I feel it in my soul, I feel it in my heart, and I won't let go. Oh, something wonderful, whoa, something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful. Woohoo! Thank you, Linda. I should say, right, hey, thank you, Linda.
Or where's the camera? I don't even.
It's your camera, that one. There you go. Good evening and welcome to Awakening Wednesday. I'm so glad that you are here. No matter when your divine time comes, be it right now or if you are listening to this as it has been already done. We are in this beautiful space of power, of recognizing the power that is within each of us, recognizing this magnificent power. And as you see, water has a very strong vibration of power for me. I love it. I think it really expands that awareness. And so as we get ready to send out our blessing, just take a moment to take a breath with me. Take this breath and listen to the beautiful flute that Linda is playing. Feeling this natural call of spirit in our very midst right here and now. Recognizing that this absolute presence, this power that is right where we are. And this power is for all, not for some, but for all. Doesn't matter if you're spiritual, religious, not, atheist. This power is the true essence of each and every one of us. And as we recognize this power, giving thanks that my power is my power and no one has control over my power. Only I do. So with this loving call, we open wide our arms and our hearts and allow the loving presence of love and power to just go out around the globe as we bless this entire universe, knowing that it is the divine presence of spirit, it is the power and presence of that which we are, and that this presence is loving each and every one of us in this very moment. So releasing this blessing, releasing this awareness of the divine magnificent, giving thanks for the rain today that has brought forth new rainbows and new wonderful growth that has taken place, that has allowed us to slow down and appreciate the skies, the water, the breath. So taking this in and recognizing that all that there is within each of us right here and now. I release this blessing knowing that it is so, knowing that the love of it is absolutely done in this moment. And so it is. That was beautiful. There is a power, a presence, one life of all, and no other power can exist outside of the infinite. One love, God's love. Oh, yes, I know that I walk. Yes, I walk in the love of God. There is a wisdom, a knowing, a loving, and a truth. Whatever you need to know will come in God's way for you. Just say, I'll pray. I won't move until I know that I walk in the love of God. For the power and the glory and the love of God is
everywhere.
Can't you feel it?
Everywhere.
Don't you see it?
Everywhere.
And you know in your heart the power and the glory and the love of God is
everywhere.
Can't you see it?
Everywhere.
Don't you feel it?
Everywhere.
And you know in your heart, yes, I walk in the love of God. There is a wisdom and a knowing, a loving and a truth. Whatever you need to know will come in God's way for you. Just say, I'll pray. I won't move until I know that I walk in the light see it?
everywhere,
Can't you feel it?
everywhere,
And you know in your heart the power and the glory and the love of God is
everywhere,
don't move,
everywhere,
be still.
everywhere,
Can't you see it?
everywhere,
Don't you know it?
everywhere,
Can't you feel it?
everywhere,
Don't you see it?
everywhere,
Don't you know in your heart that you walk in the love of God? There is a power and a presence, one life of all. Now the power can exist outside of the infinite. One love, God's love. Oh, yes, I know that I walk. Yes, I walk in the love of God. Yes, I walk in the love of God. Thank you, Linda. Oh, that was yummy. That was spectacular. I can hear the headphones. So tonight is really beautiful and special. Linda and I get to share a one-on-one together. We are running the show together tonight. So know that you can still reach me via text if something goes a little awry. And Linda's checking things. She's multitasking, playing piano and listening to the stream as well. So I thought how appropriate. Everything kind of came at the last minute that things were unfolding, and understanding this power and this presence. I was like, of course it would happen tonight, because this is what we're talking about and this is where we are. So get ready for a beautiful, powerful evening. This video that I'm getting ready to show you with Deepak and Oprah, really beautiful and really quite exquisite. So sit back, get ready for a very dynamic evening. Here we go.
So if the mind, we're going to do this experiment to prove how powerful the mind is.
Yeah, there are many experiments you can do, but we can do the simple one if you want.
Let's do this, stick with that one.
Okay.
A lot of pressure here. And what does this mean?
Well, why don't you do it? Why don't
Okay.
you do it? Hold this string between your thumb and your forefinger. Just hold it. Rest your elbow comfortably on your thigh.
Oh, boy.
Okay? Yeah, rest it comfortably. I'll hold it still. Now, just while you're holding that still, mentally have the idea it's moving back and forth. Mentally have the idea that it's moving. Okay? Don't worry, it'll start moving, and it'll start moving wider and wider. See, it's already doing that. Okay? In any direction you want. There you are. Now, once it's doing that, just change the idea in your mind that instead of swinging it like that, it's going to start swinging like this in a different direction.
Oh, my
Mentally.
heavens.
See? Now, mentally have the idea that it's going to start making circles. Just mentally have the idea it's going to start making circles. There you are, see? Circles. Now bigger and bigger circles. There you are.
Oh, my heavens.
Okay?
I didn't think I could do it. I was feeling a lot of pressure here.
Okay? Well, listen.
I
Now,
can't believe it's doing it.
yeah. And now have the idea that it's going to reverse the circle. So if it's making
Oh,
circles...
no, I don't know if I can do that.
Just have the idea.
Okay.
Just have the idea.
That it's going to reverse the circle.
Yes. Just keep that idea in your mind. You see, your expectancy determines outcome. And as long as you're not attached to the outcome will be guaranteed.
Okay.
Whenever we fulfill a desire, whatever that desire is, certain things happen. Number one, we expect a certain outcome.
Oh, it just switched.
There you are.
It
See?
just did it.
See?
I can't.
And this is living proof that every cell in your body is eavesdropping on your internal dialogue. And by changing your internal dialogue, you can influence the chemistry, the
even
fundamental
Sally's impressed.
chemistry.
Sally's saying, I didn't think you could do it, but you did. Every cell?
Every cell. How would this happen?
Now, see, now this is amazing, because if you can do this with a string,
right,
it means you can do it with your life.
Yeah, you can do it with anything. You can fulfill any desire in life that you want, because inherent in having the desire is the mechanics for its fulfillment. I don't have the same desires as you because nature gave me those desires that nature means to fulfill for me.
Okay.
Wow, I love that video. How amazing when we talk about power and the presence. And I kind of love that when I found it, that he was also suggesting things to Oprah, because I tried it. And later on in the gathering, I'll see if you will join me and try it, or if you want to try it at another time. This power that is within us, that is the very essence, the very breath that we are, is everywhere. And when you think about it, it doesn't go on a crash course with anyone, that we are totally, if you really come to that space of understanding that we are totally in the driver's seat 24/7. Now, that does not mean that there aren't things that happen in life, but we are in the driver's seat. When things do happen, where are we going to drive to? I use a metaphor now called unicorns and rainbows when sometimes things happen and they throw me off of my game. I want to make sure that my mic is on here. And I was like, I need some unicorns. I need to see some unicorns or rainbows. And that's just for me an acknowledgement that I need to shift my thinking. I need to shift the story that's running inside. And this story that I'm going to share with you, I heard from Ernest Holmes. Excuse me. And he was sharing a story about someone that had come to see him. And one of the beautiful things about this, because a lot of times we get caught up into time, that I'm too old, or I'm too young, or I don't know enough. And all of those are external things that we have human consciously created avenues within us that keeps out picturing itself in our life. Because once that's a belief within you, and as my beloved Abraham Hicks always says, a belief is just a thought that you keep repeating over and over again. And we all know that some beliefs have such a hold on our thought process, on the way that we live our life, that we say, oh, this is just who I am. This is just how it is. And so it's in recognizing that these times, right now, what is so powerful, I think the call to go within, the call to recognize beyond spiritual, we have people that say I'm religious, those that say I'm spiritual. This call that's coming forward is such an awakening that there are absolutely new things that are unfolding. There's a new consciousness that is happening in this very moment. Power. This awakening of power that we are embracing now is really taking us to a whole new dimension of what power truly is. You know, I saw me doing some of this when I was singing, and I realized, like, that's external power. The power that I am speaking about tonight is this inner presence, this consistent well-being of truth, this absolute that every day is given to each of us, no matter who we are, no matter where we are. And so I really enjoyed this story that Ernest Holmes shared about his client. And the story went a little something like this. This man was 60 years old and depressed, hurt, feeling confused, and having that conversation that I believe in God, I know there's a God, why has God forsaken me? And in the process, his daughter had an illness, and it was a severe illness, and his daughter healed herself from this illness. And so this caused the man to think, wow, look at what she did. And so when he went to visit Ernest Holmes, he shared the story that my daughter had this amazing illness, and through the power of prayer, she's completely healed and living her life fully. Why can't God do that for me? And Ernest went on to say, absolutely. There is good in this universe, and there is good for all. There is a law of good. And the man said, I want to believe that, but look at me. I'm 60. My business that was once thriving and doing so well is gone. I'm a delivery person. I'm a delivery man. I'm being politically correct. I'm a delivery man that's barely making ends meet, and I have no money. So how can I, from this space that I'm in, how can I change my life? And so Ernest said to him, you can only change from where you are, because it starts within. And I know we hear that all the time. We talk about it. But there are times throughout our day that I know for myself, sometimes I forget to go within, and I'm going without. I have this thing that says, oh, I said that in my outside voice, which means that context of what I'm speaking about is something that is outside of me, that is, I feel, is controlling things, manipulating things. And so the man said to Ernest, well, I would like to learn to do what my daughter did. And Ernest said, great. There is no difference from what your daughter has done with the health of her body than what you're wanting to do with the health of your life. Ernest talked about placing your faith in the good, in the law of good, that there is an actual law, I call it well-being, that is constant and consistent, that is within each and every one of us. So they created this new practice for the man to take at least 5 to 10 minutes every day to quiet his mind, to meditate, but to meditate in a space not of wanting. And I have experienced this myself when I realized that there were some things that I wanted in my life, and I actually had this feeling, vibration of wanting. And in that, becoming the observer, recognizing that in wanting something, that clearly states that I don't believe that I have it. because I'm wanting it. It's a feeling that leaves me feeling less than, that leaves me feeling anxious and worried, or anticipating that, oh, I hope it's going to come. Well, it hasn't come yet. Doubt comes in. And so that's a very different place to be in. That is a seed all of its own that is planted, and sometimes in certain gardens, I have seen at times in my garden in my life that it has been planted time and time again. So much so that I'm like, oh my goodness, the doubt that has been running, that I've constantly, and then I at times said I backed it up with prayer. I'm praying for something. And you know, that's where I've come to understand that's kind of a misunderstanding, to be praying for something. I remember years ago, Reverend Michael would say, you don't have to pray for anything because God already gave you everything that he got. You got it. It's about accepting. Abraham Hicks talk about the receptivity, feeling the reception that it is done, the feeling of it, not the actual manifestation, hand to touch, to feel, but the feeling thought and feeling vibration within your body. And so Ernest Holmes spoke of this with this man, that this time that he was praying and meditating, that he was in a state of feeling that it was done, that he was in a state of feeling the good, of holding faith in a space of love and appreciation and joy. And this should be something that to do daily would be a space of enjoyment, of pleasure. I know that Abraham talks about it as well, that if you're practicing something and it becomes a chore, be it meditation, be it if you're writing, writing out your gratitude, whatever you're doing, whatever spiritual practice that you're doing, if you are doing it to a point where it becomes a chore, you're no longer in alignment with the joy of the entire universe. You're no longer in alignment with all that is. And so as Ernest expressed this to the man, that his job, his daily job, was to tap into this joy, to tap in. And the man believed in praying, and he believed in faith. He believed in the faith of prayer because he had seen this happen for his daughter. He had seen this divine healing take place, and that her life and her whole living experience had been lifted to a whole nother level. And so he knew that it was real. He didn't know that he had it within him, but he saw it. Just take a moment to think of maybe someone you know, or a story that you've heard of someone that shifted their entire beingness, be it a physical healing or a financial healing or relationship healing, a life healing. We have examples that we forget, and sometimes we think, well, that happened for them. that worked for them. I don't think it'll work for me that way. Those are the times when we are caught in separation, because this divine law of good, it is constant. It is absolute. And it is always yielding fruit. So the man started his journey. And one of the things I thought that was really important as well, that Ernest Holmes said to the man, enjoy where you are. Abraham Hicks has said that on the journey, you, from wherever you are, you can get to wherever you want to go. Looking at this water reminds me of when I was at Niagara Falls. As a kid, it was just overwhelming. As an adult, going to Niagara Falls on the Canadian side, the power that I felt while I was there, I have no words for. And this is its natural essence. This is the water itself. It's not somebody or a machine pumping this. This is the natural essence of the water. And when I saw this, I thought, what greater expression than to exhibit this natural essence of power, because we have a natural essence of power within us. We're born with it. It is our God-given right. It is our inheritance, this magnificent power that we have. And so he said to the man that from right where you are, enjoy, tap into this enjoyment of a life that is right here, right now. Not when you think you get what you want, because that's still wanting, that's still craving, saying that there's something outside of me that I want. And I've heard myself say these words, and I'm like, right. And then 2 minutes later, that feeling of wanting was present. And so I had to start understanding that, I must learn how to release this feeling of wanting. That's what my practice has become, that this feeling of wanting something or hoping for something, as long as that is viable in any way, then I keep creating that. And I don't have to focus on the manifestation as much as I must focus on the feeling of joy. The feeling of knowing that this power, this well-being is 24/7, 365 days a year, all day long, every day. Is that mind-blowing? That the well-being that is our true essence and life, every day we wake up with it. Every night we go to sleep with it. And everything in between. It is absolutely expressing in our life in every way. And so the man said, I can do that. I can do that. So he began to pray. And as we would have it, and I say we because we as people get impatient. Well, I've been praying. It's been a month. I've been praying and I've been enjoying. I've been doing what you say, but nothing's happening. And this story that Ernest Holmes shared with the man, it's so beautiful. Ernest Holmes said to him, he said, the difference between you and that chicken, the chicken doesn't know how it gave birth to the little chicklet, but it knows that it can. That chicken will sit on that egg for 21 days, rotate it, roll it around, not peck at it, not hold it up or turn it over, go, where's the chicken? It doesn't know how the chicken comes, but it knows that it will. It trusts the process. And we get caught up in the process. We get caught up looking for, well, is this it? Is this the door? Should I open this door? Is this the window? Is that the window I need to open up? Well, why isn't anything happening? And I love thinking about the chicken sitting on the egg. Sitting for 21 days. Now, that may not seem like a lot, but that's a long time for a chicken to be sitting on an egg, not knowing. But the chicken trusts the infinite presence, the unspoken word, the absolute knowing that I will do what I have come here to do. And I'm going to sit on this egg. I'm going to sit on this egg. And we don't know if the chicken know how to count to 21. But we do know the chicken will sit on that egg to the new chicklet starts to crack through it and new life comes. And then the chicklet is born. And the little chicklet is like, hey, look at me. Tick, tick, tick. It's on its journey. And so he shared this story with the man that you just have to sit on the egg. And once again, he reminded him that the chicken is sitting on the egg, not in anticipation of what could be. The chicken is sitting on the egg in the joy of all that is, because the chicken believes in the law of good. And we sometimes get lost in our awareness of the law of good. So the man heard him loud and clear. And he went back to doing his meditation and enjoying his meditation and spending time. Sometimes he would just pull his delivery truck over sometimes and just stop by the road and look at the flowers or see kids laughing. And it would shift him all over again to this joyous field of life is good and there is a good. There is a law of good in this universe. And this law of good is working in my life and it's working in their life. And this law of good is absolute. It can be none other than that. And so the man felt this beautiful joy in his life. Now, Abraham Hicks talks about this in the sense that when you are in a state of connection, when you are in this flow of connecting with Source, with the infinite intelligence, you're not concerned about what something looks like or what hasn't come. When we shift into that mode, we're totally into human consciousness. But when we're in alignment with the divine infinite, with Source, with connecting with the joy, with the well-being, we are in this bubble of bliss. And the bubble doesn't have to last 24 hours a day. But as you practice being more blissful, you have more bliss in your life. And as you have more bliss in your life, even when you get lemonade, you can find a way to enjoy it and not let it take you completely out of alignment. You may understand that you don't have the answer, but there is an answer available. So the man had started to give birth to this place that he was enjoying, just being able to be in a space of bliss, in a space of joy. And now 3 months have gone by. And he makes a delivery. One of the shops he's been to a few times, a retail shop. And the owner comes out and says, hey, I've been thinking about you. He said, I've been thinking I would like to have you work with me in my company. Is that something you would entertain? And the man felt this amazing feeling of bliss overcome him because he realized that the company he used to have was a retail company. And so he said to the man, he said, I would love to work with you. I used to own a company like this. I know how to work in this company. So the man was thrilled. He said, oh, this is fantastic. And the man knew that this was the first step. It wasn't the full, complete manifestation. But the road had started to open up. There was this. Now, he had been making deliveries to this man for months. But his shift in his consciousness, his seed that he had planted was one of bliss and joy. And so all avenues of the good of God had started to open up and flow. So he worked with this man for a few years very joyously. And the man came to him one day and said, I want to retire. He said, I want to turn this business over to you. You can make payments. It's a very good business. It makes good money, and you'll be able to pay me off in no time. These are the things of power that come from within that you can't figure this out. The outside world will tell you in order to pay someone's business, you've got to have X amount of money. You got to have X amount of credit. You gotta. But here, the universe had worked out a situation, because when the universe gives you all that you have asked for, it gives it completely. It doesn't give it partial. Be like, okay, I'm gonna give you a song, but not a way to write it. It gives it to you completely. But we have to be out of the way. We have to be present to the beauty and to the magnificence. And there comes this space, Abraham talks about this, that when you have engaged in such a way that this bliss that is flowing through you, this understanding and awareness that the power is within you, it is within your thought process, it is within how you're living day to day. This is a quote written by Ernest Holmes. It says, there is a power around you, in you, that knows and that understands all things. This power works like the soil. It receives the seed of your thought and at once begins to operate upon it. I love that line. This power works like the soil. It receives the seed of your thought and at once begins to operate upon it. It will receive whatever you give to it. Did you hear that? It will receive whatever you give, whatever I give, whatever you give to it, whatever you give to it in thought and feeling, and will create for you, and then it will receive whatever you give to it and will create for you and throw back at you whatever you think into it. Beautiful, beautiful quote. Fantastic quote. And so I love what I saw with Deepak and Oprah. And I thought, oh, should I try it? What if it doesn't move? And one of the things Deepak said, that means I'm expectation that, oh, I hope this works. The expectation of doubt and not of the joy. And so I'm going to, in just let's get this still, in just the presence of recognizing that practicing, because we do it all the time. Let me get it still. Make it go around. Look at that. I'm making it go round in circles. Side to side now. Did you see it? I'm a little bit distracted because but my goodness, I love it. I love that I saw that I could make it go in a circle. I could make it go from side to side. At home, I had it really doing a lot of amazing things. It's a beautiful thing to try for yourself so that you can see your mind working in action. You can literally see and know that I could feel me saying, okay, go round and round, make it go round, make it go round, make it go round. And the excitement is like, wow, it's happening. And then, okay, stop. Did you see how it's from the going around, it stopped, and then I was getting it to go from side to side, to side to side. And I could feel when my thought would get interrupted. That was the other thing for me that was really like, oh, wow. That in the midst of telling it to go from side to side, sometimes I'm like, oh, wait a minute, no, do I want to go to round? Wait, no, wait, okay, no, I want to go side to side. And we do that in our thinking. Sometimes in our thinking, we get cluttered with our thoughts and they're not clear. Ernest Holmes said that whatever seed you plant in your thought, the universe begins on it at once. But if your thought, if your seed is murky, if your seed is confused, if your seed is doubtful, if your seeds are worried, if your seeds are anxious, then more little plants of that will sprout. But not only will the plants sprout, the thoughts will grow in that. And why is that easiest? Simply because as human beings, we've practiced it more. That our ancestors have practiced this way of living. And now we are the front runners. We are creating a new way of living and being in this universe, in this livingness, where we could actually think something and see it materialize like that. I remember when I was in Australia, we went on this tour and met this young man that I was attracted to him, not sexually, but his spirit. He had this beautiful smile. And we were in a group, I was with some of the people that I was there with from my band. And so, we're all tourists. But this young man, his presence was just huge to me. I could just feel it. I was like, wow. And I wanted to get to talk to him. I just wanted to be next to him. And so we were taking a lunch break. And I made my way over there to him to strike up conversation. And as I thought, he was just so beautiful in accepting conversation. And he was sharing about, now he was from Australia, actually he was from Melbourne, sharing about the beauty and all of nature and how life keeps reproducing itself. And I said, what do you mean about that? He said, all of life can reproduce itself. He said, you see this leg? And he had on shorts. He said, I broke my leg where they had to amputate it. I was like, what? Because I saw two legs. And so now the guys in the band are standing behind me because they've heard me talk about this man, that I just loved his presence. And they were razzing me like, oh, Gino trying to get a boyfriend. It wasn't that, but he was his spirit was just so beautiful. So I said, you did what? He said, I grew another leg. He said, just like that iguana that we just saw. Now, we had just seen an iguana that literally was in the Lions Club. Just think of it almost from like one side almost to the other side. This thing was huge. It was in the rainforest. Unbelievable. He said, but like them, they can grow limbs back. He said, and I realized that I could too. So now the guys that are with me, they're making little remarks like, oh, Gino got a loony, Gino got a loony. They're making little remarks, but I'm really blown away because there's this part of me like, well, yeah, but I've never seen it. And not only have I not seen it, it's not something that's in a daily conversation that people can grow extremities. But he shared with me that the process of growing his leg back at times was painful, and at times was so beautiful that he says the journey was so amazing that sometimes I think, oh, let me just cut it off and do it again. He said, but he recognized that there was a power within him that was so great that if he gave it the time, it did whatever he wanted. And he wanted a leg. So, the band and I talked about that for days afterwards, because there were those who's like, that's just ridiculous, it's ludicrous, he's lying to you. I've never seen him again. And that was some years ago. But we're now at that point. We're now at that point where science is actually saying that, yeah, this is something that we can do. So, as we get ready to wind this up, I want to leave you with this. The power that is within you, the greatness that is within you, it must be nurtured and loved, appreciated, cared for. Our day in and day out living, we must raise that level of living expectancy. That we raise what we believe life to be within us. We raise the awareness of life and the beauty of what life can be within our thoughts, within the spirit within our heart. I believe in vibration and energy. And I believe that it's so palpable that it can change a closed door and make it open, that it can take a broken window and seal it. These are the things that we can do, and this is what we're being called to do. So give thanks for the power that you have that's blessed with you every day. Every day you wake up to well-being. No matter if you're not feeling well, if the money in the bank account's not there, if the love of your life has left, if your kids are going crazy, no matter what the news says politically, well-being is with you every day, all day long. It can only take the seed that you give it each day. And if your seeds become that of well-being, of love, of joy, of recognizing the law of good is working for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, then you will build on that. And you will wake up one morning and not recognize not only your life, it will have changed before your very eyes with such ease and grace. I am so grateful to take this journey of power with you, to recognize this inner power never will leave you, never will forsake you. It will always be with you. So, let us take a look at some powerful quotes as we get ready for our playlist. And here we go. Yes. It is our conscious giving time now. Universal Spirit Center, I want to thank you. Thank you for all that you do and for all that you give. Constantly, in so many magnificent ways, because that is a practice of planting the seed of bountiful, joyful abundance, financially, spiritually, relationship-wise, career, in all avenues of our life. We're planting those seeds and we are practicing that. And I thank you for helping me to expand my practice and joyously participate in the giving and the receiving of life. Woo! Yeah! I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one in the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I surrender. I surrender. I am one in the spirit all around me. I surrender. I surrender. I trust in God. Said I'm thankful.
I'm thankful.
So thankful.
So thankful.
I am one with the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. Said I'm thankful, so grateful. I am one with the spirit all around me. I'm thankful, so grateful. I trust in God. I trust in God. I trust in God. Oh, yes. Thank you, Linda. We did it.
Just the two of us.
Just the two of us.
And the iPad.
And the
Gino's
iPad.
magic iPad. Oh, I guess I'm over here. Gino's magic iPad.
There you go. So listen, any volunteers that want to come out and help support Awakening Wednesday, don't be shy. Come on out. We'd love to have you. So thank you so much for being here, for being present. We will see you next week on Kitchen Conversations. And until then, know that I'm sending you lots and lots of love. Something wonderful. Something wonderful is happening to me right here, right now. Something wonderful